So time starts when I hit the new game button. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. This game is called Hue. We get a story dump right away, so I'll let the lovely Anna Acton take care of it.
Dearest Hugh. Oh, I've had the most dreadful luck. I feel terrible that you've been left alone all this time. The traitorous Dr. Gray tried to steal the annular spectrum, a ring I developed to allow perception and alteration of colour. Some call them impossible colours. Impossible for Dr. Gray, maybe. Anyway, something went wrong. I turned a strange shade and became invisible. The ring, it fractured, scattering coloured shards far and wide. I stayed at home for many weeks, watching, waiting, existing on this coloured plane. I couldn't speak to you, nor interact with anything in the mono world. So I left. I left for the university where I hid away the coloured tools I had created. I pray you have found what is left of the ring.
I guess the subtitles are a little cut off, but you'll mostly be able to hear what she's saying. So yeah, that's basically the setup for the game story, is we are this boy Hugh, who is, we are often looking for our lost mother, who is vanished. This is a very calm and relaxing puzzle platformer. Color is the central mechanic, as you might guess from the name of the game. We collect colors that go on this little ring here, and by changing the background color of whichever room, we are able to manipulate the rooms in such a way to permit traversal. I just did a little load warp there. We'll do that a couple of times, where it's faster just to hit the restart level button than to actually run where we're going. We're going to do it again in just a moment right here, because this miner dude who's trapped behind these blue rocks that we can make go away by making the background blue, he'll shuffle off screen, but he takes 100,000 years to get off screen, so it's faster just to do that. And reload. Obviously, the puzzle rooms are quite simple until we get more colors on our ring.
When you enter a cave expecting a waterfall,
Or notes from Mom.
the chances are your expectations will be met. But if you discard those expectations, don't you think instead the cave will be full of surprises? I ask for you, Hugh, to abandon your expectations, to pull me back from the brink of unreality. I need you to see the world not for what it is, but for what it can be.
So a big movement meta in this game is bunny hopping. You want to, especially when you're going uphill, you want to jump again immediately as soon as you hit the ground. That propels you forward faster. It's not so important going down. It's definitely not important going downhill, and I kind of do it on flat ground just because I'm in the habit of doing it, but I don't think it's faster on flat ground either than just running. But whenever you're going up any sort of incline, you definitely want to bunny hop it. This is the first room with kind of an unexpected solution. The game wants you to pull that box out and stand on it before you shift to blue and take the ledge out from under your feet. And you don't have to, because you can sort of maneuver Hugh in mid-air while he is mid-jump. Horizontal momentum is an important thing in this game. Running starts absolutely matter. Oh, here's the first real skip. You're supposed to follow that boulder down to the bottom of the room and wait for it to go past you there, but you can just jump over it. What I was saying about forward momentum, yeah. Running starts matter. There are jumps that you cannot make, even, playing perfectly intendedly. Not sure that's a word. There are jumps you cannot make without a running start. Vertical momentum, however, is never a thing in this game. You do not ever have to, slingshot yourself at all, and even if you tried, it wouldn't work. Here's our second color, purple. Anytime you get a colored shard from the platform there, the door to the next room will always be the same color as that shard. So I always try to get a frame-perfect change on it, just as a little challenge for myself.
At the very end of the visible spectrum. It's the hardest colour for our eyes to distinguish. Now, imagine a shade one step further than purple. A colour beyond what we can actually perceive. We call these impossible colours. And I fear that this is where I currently reside. If reality is rooted in our perception,
Bad ladder.
You cannot perceive me. Do I even exist to you? I'm sure that I do. I mean, you're reading this letter, or
Another bad ladder.
I'm sorry, but existing in this strange state of impermanence does funny things to you, Hugh. It makes you question what is real.
No, come on. That's another little important movement meta there. Anytime you have a low wall over your head, or if you're pushing a block that's, that's more than 2 units high, if you jump while pushing it, it will go faster. Even tiny little optimizations, and that one's actually not that tiny. It does save a lot of time to do it that way over the course of the run. But even tiny little optimizations really matter a lot in this game, because there's no RNG in this game. Everything is the same every time. So if you gain time, you lose time, it is all on you. There's no blame in the game. Next color is orange. But this time we're not going to proceed forward. We are going to warp back to the entrance of the cave. Because the next room is not a puzzle room, it's just basically a story dump room that would take you back to the cave anyway. Not at that very same entrance, but it would just take you back here anyway, so it's faster just to warp.
Dr. Gray soon became my assigned mentor, and I can't help but...
It does kind of break the story a little bit. We haven't really heard who Dr. Gray is.
Our fires burnt brightest when we worked together. It felt like we could achieve anything. We discovered more about colour than I could ever have imagined. We split light, mapped spectrums, we painted. We laughed. We worked long hours, and soon our goal became all-consuming. We were vessels. The work became more important than us.
Sometimes Hugh just does not like to go through doors. It's a little obnoxious. You can also kind of sort of bunny hop on ladders. I've been definitely trying to do that with not a whole lot of success so far. But it's definitely something, you know, that I have quite a lot of in my PB. My PB for this game is 5350. I submitted this to SRX when I was a little bit worse at the run, so the estimate of 1 hour and 3 minutes should be crazy safe. World Recce is 5250. I am 1 minute off. Here's an example of really tall blocks. If you jump while pushing them, and that's a mistake. If you jump while pushing them, you push them faster. I cannot even tell you how many times I've died in this room, which is really silly, because the only way to die in this room is to take out the floor from underneath you and fall on the spikes, or to just completely do nothing and have the rocks roll into you. But this should be like one of the easiest possible rooms to not die in. And, like I'm saying, I've died so many times. See, I almost did it there. I almost shifted to orange, when orange was color keeping the spikes under my feet. Yeah, this is a great game to play, even just casually. It's so relaxing. And it's relaxing even as a speedrun, too, which is just nuts. When have you ever had a relaxing speedrun? For me, never. Do swag skeletons for the marathon. You're not getting under my skin. Well, you don't have any skin, because you're a skeleton. This room's pretty straightforward. You just shift to the color of the rolling rocks so they don't kill you. Not dying is a pretty optimal strat. I recommend it. So we're getting our next color now, which is pink. I think it's pink. Yeah, okay. It's like I wasn't quite positive for a second there. After pink, we do continue forward because there's no pink obstruction by the cave entrance. So there would literally be no purpose in warping anywhere.
It's funny. I don't remember much after that day on the grass. I do know that Dr. Gray and I spent many a time together. I would compliment him on his work and his cheeks would flush with a pinkness. He'd notice and change the subject.
There was a ladder bunny hop.
This work we were doing together, it didn't feel much like work anymore.
I've considered, starting up a warpless category for this game because, I feel like it would be in particular marathon friendly because it would let you hear the whole story. It would let you hear all of the little letters from Mom. There are quite a few of them that are skipped in the run. Why did I do that? Okay. It's been a while since I've made that mistake. And there are also 3 puzzle rooms that are skipped by warping. Which, it makes me wonder if the warping is, working as intended, TM. Because it's not like some tricky speedrun thing we do to warp, it's just something in the game's menus. Although, I never knew it was there until I started learning the run for this game. I even, set up splits in such a way that the puzzle rooms which are skipped, and I'll tell you when they would have come up in the run, I even set up my splits originally in such a way to include doing those rooms, because I didn't know you could skip them. This room is very well optimized. Get up there, knock that down. Now, you may have noticed that you can't shift into a certain color if you're standing in a place where an object of that color would be if you weren't on that color. Like, I couldn't shift into, purple, like there, if I was standing where that purple would have been if it were visible. I'm messing up. That's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's okay. So this room has kind of a ninja solution. You see that blue block on the right side there? We are going to completely ignore it. And I cannot remember which color to shift into. I think the game isn't aware of you being able to do like that. Being able to jump up on something while standing on something, while you're, I can't words right now, but while it's behind something black, something that doesn't go away when you shift colors. Oh yeah, that's no good. Okay, that's really no good. Okay. I'm making some very silly mistakes, but whatever, it's a marathon and my estimate is crazy pants safe, so it's all good. Like that right there is a jump that you need a running start to do. Small skip here. There should be a purple block in between the light blue and the pink one at the bottom there. You're like expected to shift in and jump to that block, but you do not have to. You can make the jump without it. This is wrong. This is very wrong. I'm really messing up some of the easier stuff in this game, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, our goal will be to get that orange block on the bottom of the screen there all the way to the left. I'm waiting for the time I shift to purple too early there and fall onto the spikes below that purple block. I've never actually done that, but I feel like it's inevitable someday. Okay, that was super messed up, but we got through it. Time for our next color, which is red. And you see this figure in the hood here that we see in every room with a shard pedestal in it. It really should be obvious who that hooded figure is, but it kind of blew my mind when I found out. So after red, we do warp back to the cave entrance because right now you can see the red on the bottom there. That's where we're heading. So it's definitely faster to warp than to go through the little story dump room, you know, with another one of those letters from Mom. And here's another one.
Once a seed has taken root, it doesn't take long for it to grow, to nurture and blossom into something beautiful. The seed of knowledge was planted in my mind, and I wasn't prepared to let it wilt and die. The university claimed my experiments were unethical, that altering the fabric of our reality was dangerous. They were unflinching. My research was confiscated and my contract terminated. Following my expulsion, I was left with no choice but to uproot and move us both far away. I knew of a small fishing village a boat ride from the university, where I hoped my reputation wouldn't precede me. You and I moved into a humble home, which is now where you spent most of your childhood.
Okay. Puzzle rooms are beginning to increase in complexity. That is not what I wanted to do. Why did I do that? It'll work, though. It's just kind of a weird solution. I don't think that actually even lost any time. It's just really weird. That is not at all how I would ordinarily do that room. But it's fine, I suppose. Got some rolling skulls to look out for here. As long as you shift before they crunch you, you're good. And then this cycle where you're following the red skull as it hits the buttons for you, that is the best cycle. What am I doing? I'm really messing up pretty badly. I'm very bad at this game. Come on. This is a tough room to optimize because you kind of have to just know where to... Gosh darn it. Where to leave this blue block in such a way that you can get the orange block out. Not blue. If you pull the blue block too far, you will lose time. I'm playing very badly. Now we introduce the thwomps. That's just what I called them the first time I saw them, but apparently in the game's code, that is literally what these are called. Thwomps. They just reminded me of the thwomps from Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, if you push the purple block there too fast, that thwomp will come all the way down and kill you. And I say this is a very peaceful and relaxing game, and it is. But there's just a pinch, just a teaspoon of limbo in this, you know, peaceful, relaxing platform, because when the boy dies, it can be kind of horrific. You know, you saw a spike death. Hopefully that will be the only one. Okay, we're messing up again. Hello, Ultima Mantoid. Nice of you to be here. I'm messing up all of the easiest stuff, so I'm probably gonna nail all the hard stuff later on. Yeah, let's go with that anyway. Going back to sleep. Alright, well thanks for the good luck. This room has a really cool unintended solution. See this blue block up here? We are expected to push it down through the gaps in the thwomps here, like this one at the top here where the red was. But that's actually as far as I'm going to push it, right there. I'm going to get back down to ground level. Isn't that cool? If something falls because of gravity, shifting into the color of that object will hold it in place. So I was able to shift to blue there and hold that block in place. Then when the thwomp went up past it, it was able to just fall all the way to the ground. Something like a thwomp that moves with its own, it's scripted to move a certain way, it wouldn't work like that. The thwomp still moves its scripted way, even if you shift into the color of that thwomp. And it would actually break several puzzle rooms if that weren't the case. So dark blue, we just continue forward. This room is kind of maze-like, but I should know which way to go. Sometimes I mess it up.
The ancient scriptures of civilizations.
That was a nice ladder bunny hop there.
I spent hours poring over them.
There's another good one.
Searching for clues to support my research. Aside from their wonders, one thing stood out above all else. Blue. Or specifically the absence of it. Other colours were detailed.
Okay, good. Didn't run into a dead end.
It was never mentioned at all. The word simply didn't exist. Could they not distinguish blue? Without a word to describe it, how could we be sure they could see it at all?
This room introduces balloons, which work pretty much the way you'd expect them to. It's actually possible to have the orange block up top there jam the third door, so you would, in theory, only have to shift once coming back to it. In practice, you can't pull it very well when it's jammed like that. I have been able to do it once, but not with any regularity, so it's not something I really even try for anymore, because the time save is quite minimal. This room is pretty simple. We'll play it safe here, wait for those to stop bouncing around. Go over here, grab this. That's all there is to that one. This room sucks. I have lost lots of runs to this room. That was kind of, you know, Aesop's tortoise, slow and steady, but I'm telling you, that room is harder than it looks. This room's very cool. This is one of my favorite rooms in the run, because this room has a ninja solution that I actually found in my casual playthrough. Make use of the 2-block jump there. Isn't that cool? You're expected to use the blue block on the left edge of the screen that you can't really even see to be a bridge over those spikes, but you don't need to. You can just do the jump, and it's because you can sort of maneuver Hugh in midair, like I've been saying. So, yeah, it works. I said there were jumps that even doing intended solutions you couldn't make without a running start. These are them. I like to call this the Indiana Jones room. To me, it's sort of evokes that scene in the movie where he's running from the big boulder. Because there's a bunch of stuff here that's trying to kill you. Screw that up a little. And you can't stop moving or you're in a lot of trouble. It's not actually that hard, but it sure does look cool. Alright, next color is yellow. Here's where things get really tricky. So we warp back to the cave entrance one more time. My menuing leaves a lot to be desired. Get ready for freaking lasers.
My research led me to tales of a long-lost civilization. They built great machines, pioneering electricity many years before we discovered it.
There's some seriously tricky rooms coming up. I'm gonna hope I can get them first try, which will make up for some of the silly mistakes earlier in the run.
And observed it, yet could not experience it themselves. Explaining to them the sensation of pain is like me explaining colour to someone that can only see in black and white. I wonder, Hugh, if we will be able to share in our experiences of colour.
Lasers to me are a little bit nervy because if you make a mistake shifting colors with lasers, you die instantly. If you make a mistake with blocks, you usually have an opportunity to save yourself. This room has a very cool and pretty simple fast strat. Just get ahead of the lasers. Yeah, orange. This is one of the rooms that took me the longest in my casual playthrough, but it's not actually that bad. This room has a very difficult fast strat. Let's go for it. Almost got it. Dang it. That was really close. If I had shifted... Okay. If I had shifted back into pink any sooner than I did there, the laser would have gotten me. So we'll do this the intended way. But that was really close. I almost got it. It's one of those somewhat more difficult strats that I really need to start implementing in my PB runs. This room trolls you on your first playthrough because you figure you want to move the light blue block through the lasers, but if you do that, you're stuck. Well, not stuck, you just have to go back and get the purple one. Alright, here come the really tricky rooms. This one's not so bad to just get through. Doing it optimally is a little bit on the hard side, and I certainly didn't do it optimally there, but we'll take it. This next room is crazy. This room has a really cool one cycle. I'm gonna hope I can get it first try. It's yellow here, or else that laser would have gotten me. We shift to oh, we go up here, and then we shift to red. We'll see why we shift to red in just a moment. It's for that laser that would have skewered our brains. The hard stuff I get first try. G freaking G. That room's quite simple. This room bugs the crap out of me because I cannot see the color palette at the bottom of the screen very easily. Just because of how big the game is on my computer screen. I could, I suppose, change that, but I'm very used to running the game in this size, so it might cause more problems if I did. And those overhead electrical cables are an annoyance as well. Yellow, please, thank you. What? Oh, son of a... There we go. Kinda have to wait for that one to stop bouncing around a little. You might have seen the red laser still peeking through a little bit. This room's pretty cool. For the orange, there's sufficient surfaces to just stand on, so you don't have to shift to orange. That's another case there where horizontal forward momentum matters, because if you were just walking when you shifted to the color beneath your feet to avoid being hit by the laser, you wouldn't get the forward momentum and you just go straight down on the spikes. Alright, time for our last color, green. Your first playthrough, you feel like this is like, oh, I'm almost done with the game, but this is actually maybe 60%. This is the warp that skips puzzle rooms. We don't warp to the cave entrance this time, we warp back to the town. Go into the lighthouse. You're supposed, and I say that loosely, to come through that purple door there and hit the switch from below and then get out of the lighthouse that way. I say supposed because, I don't know, it works this way just fine using very intended mechanics, so I kind of wonder if that was a developer oversight. But all the more reason that a warpless category of this might be kind of interesting.
If a tree stands in the woods and nobody's there to see it,
I love this narration.
does that tree exist? Does it have colour and form? Does it matter? This journey has been difficult, Hugh. And whilst I have trodden a lost, winding path, I feel no closer to the truth I was after, no matter how long you chase the moon. If truth does exist in our minds, then I feel there may be one that I have neglected. All this time, you've been alone, and now uprooted, on a journey for my cause. For what? So that I could see the world a little clearer? I do hope, in the end, it was worth it. For both of us.
So those little trampolines are one of the final game mechanics. They change colors when you jump on them. There is one more game mechanic we will be introduced to shortly, and then it will actually combine with the trampolines. So there would be a spike there following its light blue. There, you can see it now. If you shift to light blue before going up that ladder, you never see the spike. The door over here is actually light blue, though, so I like to shift out of it ASAP. So what you have to do here is shift to the color of those trampolines, lest you jump on them and hit the spikes. This one's pretty straightforward, if you know where the trampolines are, which I do. Okay. I was going to try the fast strat one time for this room, because why not? You may have seen me practicing this strat before the run started, but didn't work that time, which is a shame. We'll just do it the safe way. This is an interesting room. It's very simple for an any percent, you know, just get to the end of the room kind of a playthrough. But if you're going for all the science beakers, which are the little collectibles, the one in that room is very well hidden and very much a pain in the butt to get. Luckily, we don't have to go for that. Yeah, we do have a 100% category on the leaderboards for this game, but nobody's ever routed it, so there are no runs of it. Orange. We want to shift that color before doing anything else. You can do it after, it's just faster to do it first. No, the sequence of colors when you jump on the trampolines is the same every time. It's the orders of the colors on the color wheel. this wheel here. And sometimes I do have to remind myself, okay, want to go on to light blue, which comes right after green. Yeah, clockwise. That is correct. Like right here is room. We want these trampolines to all be light blue. Yeah, I don't know if you were here earlier when I mentioned it, but there are actually no random elements in this game at all. Which makes it an interesting speedrun, because you can never blame the game. I mean, you can, but you'll be lying. So put the block there, get the key. Oh, what am I doing? We want it to be matching green. I put the orange block back on the switch. That will let the laser open the door on the right. This room is crazy sauce. There's actually 2 ways of solving this room. The fourth place runner on the leaderboard does it a different way than the rest of us do. Okay, almost screwed up there, but not too bad. This way might be faster by like a couple of seconds, but it's a million times harder. I've tried doing it. I've been able to do it once, like 450th try. This is just, you know, a million times more consistent. Yeah, what he does is jump through each of those lasers at the bottom of the screen, shifting color in midair, which also takes out the, unless you change them up top the way I did, which also takes out the blocks below you that are keeping you from landing on the spikes. So you have to shift back in midair so that you have something safe to land on, shift again so the next laser doesn't hit you. It's doable, but it's crazy hard. Here's the final new mechanic, the paint.
Being back at the university has surfaced many memories, Hugh. I remember taking you to lectures. You would crawl to the front of the hall when I wasn't paying attention.
Some mom.
Ray would look down from his lectern, and all his seriousness and authority would wash away. He would pick you up, walk over, and return you to my arms with a smile. Love cannot be measured, Hugh. Like colour, it exists inside of us. I buried it. I buried the love that I had for my own ends. I hope after all this, you will see my mistakes for what they are. Yours lovingly. Mum.
No, she says Hugh. That's the boy's name. And it actually is a... It's not that common a name anymore, but it's spelled differently than the word hue, meaning color. It's spelled, I always mess this part up. The name is usually spelled H-U-G-H, not H-U-E, but no, she is saying Hugh. That's the name of the character. Yeah, I'm sorry the subtitles are kind of cut off on this, window capture I'm doing. But you are still hearing her, and apparently hearing her correctly, so yay. Okay, dang it. Ideally, you want to be pushing this block such that you can just land on it rather than having to do a slightly scary jump like I just did, but it worked out. And I think the game expects you to push the block back towards the laser, but since the block and the laser are the same color, you can just shift to red. It's a lot faster that way. This room has a ninja solution that I usually mess up. Alright, not terrible that time. Wreck up the university's trophy case. Why not? Alright, big skip here. Hold on to your butts. Let's see if we can get this first try. That's unfortunate. Let's see if we can get this second try. I actually don't even know. Wow. Let's see if we can get this third try. I actually don't even know the intended solution for this room. So it's been a while since I haven't even been able to get this second try. Come on. I haven't actually lost a run to this in quite a while. This is not quite as hard as I'm making it look. It is tricky. You want to shift into blue as late as possible, but obviously not that late. And you need forward momentum going into it in order for it to work. That was way too early. Went from way too late to way too early. Good thing I have such a bloated estimate, because this is really embarrassing. At least you saw what the skip looks like. Another skip here. You have to stand on the corner of that little staircase there, or else you don't have enough height to get over the rolling globe. To be this color. That was pretty garbo. Lel? So we need this block to be blue. If it is red, the solution to the room will not work. Do that to block the green laser. Again, fourth place runner has a different strat for this room that looks cool. It really does look cool, but it's a lot harder, and in this case, I'm pretty sure it's slower. What 4th place runner does there is he will, like, spam color shifts in midair to keep one of the balloon blocks in front of the laser. It looks really cool, but it's hard to do and very slow. This room is optimized. It does not have a ninja solution, but you really need to be on top of things to make it work. And so far, so good. That should be fine. Yeah, at the beginning there, we have to make sure we keep that orange block orange, or else it will disappear during one of the other color shifts, but when we come back around the second time, it doesn't matter what color the 2 blocks are, just as long as they're in the right places. Okay, that's no good. See me, notice me, senpai. There we go. That's better. Yeah, we need these first 2 thwomps to be different colors from the lasers up above them. The 3rd one can stay the same because we are not dropping through the same way since we have to come get this yellow block. That ordinarily wouldn't happen, but it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Now, we do want them to be the same color as the lasers up above them, because that is what is going to allow us a way forward to get to this key down here. This room probably took me the longest in my casual playthrough, and I think I might have even looked up the solution. Just because I was like, how the heck do you get through this? And spoiler alert, I didn't say heck. Okay. Ugh. So you want to cover these paint drips coming down from changing the color of the currently yellow block. We will change it to red in just a moment. You'll see why that's so important. We need it to be red so that it will disappear when we shift to red up here to get at this key. Since the block below disappeared, the laser was able to open the door. If it wasn't red, it wouldn't have worked. I don't know if I'm being clear at all. Some of these solutions are a little bit difficult to just explain by, like, saying, oh yeah, I'm doing this now, I'm doing that now. You kind of have to, like, already know what I'm talking about. Alright, so dark blue to start this room. This room scares the crap out of me every time. But I honestly don't think I've ever lost a run to this room. Almost famous last words. So this is the last puzzle room, but time is not going to be for like another 2 minutes after the end of this room. I don't particularly like the timing rules we have for this game, but I'm not the one who set up the board. Start a oh, missed a step here. Start a speedrun coup. Yeah, if it were completely up to me, we would stop the timer after this puzzle room, because, I mean, what the hell. Alright, I'm gonna do this really slow and safe. Okay. It definitely was not an optimal completion of the room, but I don't care. If it were up to me, we'd cut the timer walking through that door, because there's no more puzzle rooms. All that's left is walking.
It has been too long. You have grown so much. Your mother, I tried to warn her. I thought that exiling her from the university would protect her, would protect you. She did not understand that some people choose not to see. I never stole the ring from her here. I tried to destroy it, before it destroyed her. I now know she had it under control. She knew what she was doing. My intervention shattered the ring, altering your mother's very fabric. My only reprieve
No.
is that you were able to follow in her footsteps, to experience her work firsthand. We do not see things as they are, Hugh. Instead, we see them as we are. Your mother, she has been waiting for you. I expect she will be thrilled to see how far you've come.
Reunited with Mom. So if you didn't pick up on it, the hooded figure is Dr. Gray. And the game strongly suggests, without outright saying, that Dr. Gray is also Hugh's father. And it's still over a minute until time, so this is what I'm saying, that I would have stopped the timer right now if I set up the board for this game. Because, again, remembering the game Limbo, the timer rules for that game are at the end of the last, as you would call it in that game, puzzle. Even though the game itself goes on a little bit longer after that. And we still have a timer going, even though we're literally sleeping. Alright, time will be at the end of this room.
P.S. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can choose how you see it. Now you can see true colour. You must decide if it is for better or
And time. Please tell me it was at least sub-hour.
it is for the better.
58:36. Yeah, that actually is pretty bad, but you know, for what Laser Skip was like 7th try, so given that, it's not so bad, I guess. But yeah, this is you. Very lovely game. It's going to be quote-unquote free on PlayStation Plus next month, so if you have PlayStation Plus, check it out. And if you check it out and decide that you think you might fancy the speedrun, look me up. I might just have some Steam codes for this game. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.